When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast where all pups go to heaven.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, wagging their little butt plug tails.
Good little boys.
We're in their hoods. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today
it's our Christmas spectacular extravaganza.
Our Merry XXX-Ma here with us again in studio. Say hi, Mom.
I didn't hear my drum roll intro.
Oh, sorry.
Ma Johnson!
Yay!
Welcome.
Merry X-Ma.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here
I
again.
love it. Seriously.
It's not that we recorded 2 weeks worth of episodes in one sitting.
No.
That's not what's happening at all.
We did not attack two on the
Americans
desert.
in the desert.
Yeah.
We did not.
We did not.
That's a very obscure reference to a very obscure movie, and I'm very happy about it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Christmas.
Yeah.
With my mom.
Yeah.
But first. I said we were going to have Christmas juice, and God damn it, we're having Christmas juice. Break into that giant ass candy cane full of red hot yummy Fireball.
You let me be in custody of the Fireball?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We're going to do a shot of Fireball all together just to make sure it's good.
So if what Mike said didn't make any sense to you, which that would be the reasonable reaction, someone gave him a giant hollowed out candy cane.
Phallic-y
that is
looking
filled
only with
with
pyronis on the top thing.
that is filled with little individual size fireballs.
Yeah.
And I guess that's Christmas juice.
It's Christmas juice.
It does taste like Christmas.
Not to be confused with Christmas Jews, which are very different.
Which are a unique species.
Yum, yum, yummy, yum, yum.
Sound
I'm hoping it'll help my voice,
Exactly.
which is still fucked up, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Mike, and whoever gave him this weird thing.
Yeah.
Drinking is hard.
My ex roommate's boyfriend. Christmas juice.
Oh, shit. Cheers.
Cheers to Christmas juice, everybody.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Oh, you did a shot. I'm sipping.
I did a shot. No, it's fine. I legit am hoping it's going to help the voice out. So I want to get it in and get it working.
Get it in there.
Okay, here we go. First,
Balls are on fire, that's for sure.
Feedback and correction. Speaking of Christmas Jews, we got a really, I think, interesting email from M. Wolf. Here we go. Feedback. Subject line. Feedback on behalf of the Jews. Hey, guys. Wanted to reach out about your comment regarding conservative Jews and circumcision. It's problematic because it's not true, but also given the increased anti-Semitism in the U.S. The practice you are describing is sometimes practiced in small, sometimes controversial, ultra-Orthodox communities, not among conservative Jews who are fully integrated into secular society and believe in modern medicine. I know you guys are trying, but please, please, please try to be wary, as we are concerned about our safety more than ever these days. I'm including a credible resource from nyc.gov, where many ultra-Orthodox communities reside, for your review. Ultra-Orthodox communities came about after the Holocaust and, in my opinion, are operating through generational trauma. The state of New York and other states have various nonprofits that offer education and support and help for those who wish to leave, but the whole BRIS thing is not a black and white situation. Love you guys and your pod, and it's footstepsorg.org.
Wait.
Footstepsorg.org.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
What breast thing?
BRIS.
Oh,
BRIS. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thanks for the feedback, and definitely gonna look into it. And I mean, we see our episode about circumcision. I don't care what your religion is. I think the whole institution is horse shit. But that's just me.
Yeah,
I messed up another body part for you.
Yeah,
so sorry.
My pinky toe and my foreskin, Mom, and I'm never gonna forgive you.
Oh, and your soul now too.
And I don't think it's something that we've explicitly talked about is, there has been a big increase in anti-Semitism, and
which we're not down for.
No, yeah,
we do not support that.
We haven't come out. We haven't explicitly talked about it. It's scary, and it sucks. And there's no good reason to be anti-Semitic, and none of anything that we talk about, even if it's something like this that we've talked about, like that does not give any right to treat anyone differently or be anti-Semitic. You're the asshole. So don't do that. And it's weird to see the support both for neo-Nazism and being allowed to be open about that, and people being okay with anti-Semitism and people allowing that on social media platforms. That's the tolerance paradox. If we want to live in a tolerant society, that means we should not tolerate any kind of Nazism, hate speech, anti-Semitism. So it's a weird paradox that they don't deserve a platform or a voice. I don't care. You as a Nazi don't need a voice.
That's right. Because I will throat punch you, and then you will sound like me, unable to speak.
Mike, you can't make them sexier. That's bad.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Throat punch them in the dick.
Great. Before we move on, hey, Kyle.
Hey, Mike.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Here's a Christmas gift to us from this person.
Oh.
Dear Mike and Kyle, hope this email finds you well. I'm a cishet male who found your amazing podcast. I look forward to your new podcast every week. The two of you and all of your guests help make me, hopefully, a better ally for the LGBTQ plus community. So thank you for all of your hard work making the amazing podcast. Your episodes always help put me in a better, less depressive mood and mindset. So thanks again. Thanks, Brandon Kunimura.
Oh.
It would be funny if Kyle tried to pronounce my last name.
Yeah.
But yeah, Merry Christmas. A compliment. And apparently we have at least one cishet male that listens that I'm not related to.
Oh, you're the minority here. How does it feel? You rarely get this feeling.
Wait, what's his last name?
Kunimura.
Sounds like Kumbaya. You could probably do it, Kyle.
Aw. Shlumbaya, my lord.
Slong,
Slong my tongue.
God.
I was going to say something, but then I forgot.
Christmas juice.
Something that I did not realize in doing this podcast, we do show up in education, like universities' lists of LGBT resources.
We're so weird.
It's very weird.
God.
Why? Why did that happen?
I have a friend that works in mental health, and she talks about how she recommends us to her LGBT patients to learn about the gay community. I did not think about that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, cool. I'm glad this educational, institution has recommended our podcast featuring episodes like Bukkake and Come. Yeah. Good for you. You learned so much. But I do hope that we bring some kind of info to life, and so that's been anyway. Thank you so much for the email. It's very sweet.
I mean, who else has done hard-hitting queer content about leprechauns?
Honestly, we might be the only ones, unless there's like a drag leprechaun. Like every drag queen has a podcast, which
Jesus.
You got to do it. You got to do it probably.
But are these? What age are these people she's referring you to? You're not groomers, are you?
Oh, well, I mean, I am, but
that's unrelated to being gay. It's just one of your pastimes.
Oh, dog groomers. Sorry, I get that mixed up.
We have expressed interest in creating a gay school run by drag queens that intends on trying to make your kids gay.
Yeah.
I support that idea.
I do too.
I think we should do the things that we're being accused of.
Drag Queen High.
Drag Queen High. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the news. I know, because I know it helps with your editing. We put in a gap, like a pause, a moment of silence, and then sing the theme song in my head.
It definitely plays in my head.
Which
Let's sing it now.
Shut your
you
mouth.
think you're an asshole, but you're not.
Great.
News.
Jesus Christ.
Shut your mouth hole, it's time for your ear holes. News
the first. Okay, so Florida Representative Joe Harding resigned from the Florida legislature on Thursday because he's been charged with wire fraud, money laundering, making false statements about gay people. Turns out he's also the one that wrote their Don't Say Gay law. So
wait, you're allowed to be arrested or whatever for saying false things about gay people?
Hold on.
people say whatever shit they want about gay people, and no one has ever faced any consequences. So
I don't know. Equality Florida said that he made many false statements about LGBTQ plus people, and what's undoing the reason that he's quitting his position, he's resigning from his position as state representative of House District 24, is that prosecutors say that he committed 2 acts of wire fraud in an effort to defraud the Small Business Administration when he obtained small business loans related to the coronavirus pandemic under false pretenses.
Oh my God.
Federal officials say he wrongly obtained or attempted to receive more than $150,000. He lied in those loan applications. He used the names of dormant businesses and created fake bank statements for one dormant business to use as a supporting document in an application. He also sponsored the so-called Parental Rights in Education Bill, or the Don't Say Gay law. It was passed by the legislature, signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis, bans classroom instruction on sexual orientation completely in kindergarten through 3rd grade, and bars educators from teaching about the subjects, quote, in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. But then, I get it.
What?
He has made false statements about LGBTQ people, but that's not what he's in legal trouble for. It's just that Equality Florida was tweeting, we're pretty sure that he's a liar because he lied about us so much.
Yeah. I wonder if that could be used as evidence of deceit. I just want someone to face some kind of ramifications for saying shitty things. If you say gay people are groomers, like, you deserve a lawsuit, a repercussion of some kind because for so many reasons. And so I wonder, I'm imagining in a court of law, like a pattern of behavior or something, if that could be included among them.
Yeah.
God, that would be great.
Yeah. Fuck you, Joe Harding.
Fuck you. I hate you. And I'm so happy that of all your life's misfortunes.
Joe Softing.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You don't even deserve boners.
No.
Joe. Okay. News the second.
Great.
A federal appeals court on Friday permanently blocked the Biden administration from requiring religious doctors and hospitals to perform trans medical services that violate their conscious or sincerely held religious beliefs. This is the second court to do so, which means it's almost certainly going to end up in the Supreme Court. The 8th Circuit Court affirmed a lower court ruling in favor of the plaintiffs in Sisters of Mercy v. Becerra, because God's mercy would want you to deny trans people medical care that they need.
Encourage people to suffer and feel worse.
The case concerns a coalition of Catholic groups who have challenged the Biden administration's attempt to invoke the Affordable Care Act to stop doctors and hospitals from discriminating against trans patients. The Catholic groups, which include hospitals, a university, and nuns who run health clinics, say the Biden administration's rule violates their free exercise of religion. Fuck you. No, it doesn't, you dickbag shitbirds. You're like, Go. Merry Christmas. Jesus Christ, you fuckers. I'm too sick to be this mad. What do you think, Kyle?
You don't be a fucking doctor. Like, you are working in the wrong field if your strongly held religious beliefs make you turn around and make people suffer and treat them badly and don't give them the medical attention they need. Like, I don't care what you think. And besides, like, Jesus super wanted to help the poor, the needy, the sick, the horny. The horny. He loved the horny.
Plus, he wore that dress in the desert the whole time.
Trans rights. No.
They didn't take the oath of stupidness.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Our healthcare system is so fucked up, so super duper fucked up, that we have massive Christian organizations that own and operate hospitals, many times in jurisdictions where there are no secular alternatives.
Right.
The only hospital within 400 fucking miles is the goddamn Pope worshiping one.
Yeah.
And you have to go there. Yeah. It's not like, we'll just go to a non-Catholic hospital. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can go to.
Yeah.
It's in my backyard. need to go there, and you won't do XYZ because Jesus.
Yeah. Like,
fuck you.
And in an emergency, you might not have the luxury of like, oh, let me go through and select, or you may not have the money. Like, there are a million reasons why you might need to get to the closest hospital. And when I get there, man, I hope they use the best practices that medical associations and doctors have recommended rather than just whatever whim or belief they have.
Yep, absolutely. I'm really angry. It's almost certainly going to go to the Supreme Court. I hope that by natural causes or otherwise, many of them die and are replaced by the Democratic Senate before the case gets there.
You know, that would be the only gift I want this Christmas.
Yep.
And a bigger butthole.
Sorry, you're right. The two things I want.
Yeah, we'll for sure keep watching this story. I'm sorry, trans people.
It sucks.
I wish.
All major medical organizations have said the right thing is to provide gender affirming health care to trans people. That is just a known fact.
Yeah.
So anyone that is arguing with that is an asshole and a bigot. There's no what like this.
Well, let's start with wrong.
Wrong. They're definitely wrong. Like, this is not an opinion area. This is not a place where people get to have opinions on what is right. We know the fact, the science, and what doctors say. That's what's so frustrating is there is truth out there and you are wrong.
Yep.
And I don't care about arguing about it.
And fuck your Jesus.
And fuck your Jesus.
On the Christmas episode.
Amen.
And Muhammad and Allah for that reason.
Let's be inclusive of all religions. Fuck all of them.
Fuck Buddha.
Yeah.
If that's what he thinks
I don't know.
about trans people. I don't really
Maybe they could hook up.
Ooh.
Oh, religion orgy.
That, I mean, if the last, if a couple of episodes ago doesn't get us kicked off the air, that cartoon definitely would. News the last.
I mean, Jesus has so many holes.
Yeah, more than average.
More than average.
So handy.
News the last.
Well, hand jobs. Okay, never mind. I don't have to explore that.
Yeah, does that help or not help?
Oh, it helps. You just it's like you're high-fiving the dick and it just goes right through. It's perfect.
Think about your feet making the hole. Quadruple it.
That's true.
From the feet episode.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we won't have to deal with any feedback from the feet episode.
Oh yeah, we are recording this before the feet episode comes out, so we're not ignoring your feet.
Your feet back?
Your feet's back. But we may ignore it in the future.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So we'll see.
News the last.
Great.
Okay, great. It just here's what Elon Musk is getting for Christmas.
Sure. Why not?
I'm sure we've turned the corner now, and Twitter is over because the most recent celebrity to stop using the platform very publicly is singer-songwriter Sir Elton John.
Wow.
He posted on Twitter on December 9th, "All my life I've tried to use music to bring people together, yet it saddens me to see how misinformation is now being used to divide our world. I've decided to no longer use Twitter, given their recent change in policies, which will allow misinformation to flourish unchecked. Sir Elton John, at Elton Official."
I mean, at Elton Official no longer.
I mean, it's all fun and games until you piss the gays off. I think,
and we all take our cues from him. We basically follow Sir Elton John.
Yeah. Well, and there have been a lot of other people who have vowed to stop posting until the policies change. Celebrities have included Jim Carrey, don't care. Whoopi Goldberg, a little more care because Star Trek. And Jamil also have left the platform since Musk took over in October. Somebody replied on Twitter, quote, "Sir Elton John has, understandably, left the burning building." Somebody else says, "So Twitter 2.0 won't have Elton John, but it will have people trying to get children's hospitals bombed."
God. I mean, and Twitter has become a hotbed of anti-Semitism. And again, that is something I don't care to allow in the name of free speech. And this is what everyone's like. If Elon Musk and anyone who's chill with letting anti-Semitism happen on Twitter in the name of free speech is contributing, like they are an active participant in violence, it's their fault too. And yeah.
Yep. Anyway.
I think that it actually reminds me of the David Beckham thing, surprisingly, which we did for a couple Patreon segments ago. But he has the luxury of making the decision whether to be a representative for Qatar. some of us who are trying to promote independent artists, people trying to promote their stuff, oftentimes sex workers who are on Twitter, one of the few platforms that allows them to post stuff. There's so many people that may not have the luxury of being able to be off a platform because they have to make money. Their audience is there. This is how they live. So there is a rich people who don't need Twitter. Like, it's up to you to do these big things, to ask, if you're an individual, small person, small business that's willing to take that step, good for you. But you, Sir Elton John, can afford to do that. Some of us can't.
Yep. Yeah, we had a similar thing when we were maybe going to leave Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify, that's the same thing. Like with us being a small show and that being such a big part of our distribution, and if we leave, Spotify isn't going to be like, oh, fuck, Gayish is gone?
Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin.
Oh, no, yeah, we're over. Yeah, they don't care about us.
Right.
So
I barely care about us.
So, Merry Christmas, I'm tired.
Yeah, that's the news. Speaking of people who might be tired of giving us their money.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, because we are recording a couple episodes in a row, we have no new Patreon members. So if you're thinking about giving us a gift,
do.
Yeah.
Spin that wheel.
And number two, consider giving us money for Patreon. It helps fund things like our amazing production assistant, Derek. It helps fund equipment,
he's Jewish,
hosting costs. Okay, they can give it to us for.
I was saying, if you're listening to our new maybe anti-Semitic stance on Nazis,
okay,
if you would support that,
I don't. You know what? Give to a Jewish nonprofit organization. Please don't give it to us if you have that money. But second, you can give money to us to help for stuff. We also do weekly bonus segments. We do monthly mom-splainings, monthly bonus episodes, which are full-length episodes based on stuff you want to hear. So go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Do it. Speaking of which, hey, Mom, for mom-splaining, what kind of questions do you want to answer more of? Like, do you have any like?
Well, I think all of your questions are important, and I think that there's been a variety-ish, and you know how I feel about certain things already, like love my gays, mean it. Well, my vagina hasn't been inquired about for quite some time.
Very true.
I could give you an update on that now if you want.
Let's. But no. They have to earn it. They have to.
Ooh, yeah, Daddy, you gotta earn it. Let me see. Oh, I have other cooking hacks.
Like I share. I have other holes.
Hacks. I have other holes.
Hold on. We never ask about your butt.
Butt.
How's your butt?
Well, is this now is a good time? Okay, good. So refer. Okay, Mike, thank you. Speaking of butts, so this is what happened.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, so we were talking a little bit earlier about having big babies.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So how we refer to it in the Ma business, when you have a great big huge baby, they do an episiotomy, which is, in my situation, hell to breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
If you're straight, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that reconstruct situation, it's probably not pretty down there. I avoid looking all the time, but I've had serious atrophy issues with my vagina.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Not kidding.
Yeah.
So because of my unused, unrecycled vagina tissue, there's some like breakdown in that general area. So, just don't even use a glove. Just put that shit back up in there.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but
I do.
Okay, great.
You're welcome.
You take that same phrasing, and if like a hot gay dude said it, I'd be turned on.
You
this
would?
Is weird.
Okay,
weird.
Use the glove then.
Oh no, I'm out.
Okay.
Jesus.
Anyway, poor Mikey.
No, it's great. It's fantastic.
I do think not enough people talk about like what happens. I mean, big babies what happens when you give birth is like, this is a fact of life, everyone. Like you just gotta get over it and know some stuff. You know, I don't care if you're like icked out like this. I don't know. But that's not what this episode is. No. This episode, we're talking about Christmas.
Do you want to talk about Christmas?
Yeah.
So I talked about both hell and breakfast. So if you want more details, BR5499LL, email me.
5855 Gayish.
There we go.
585-542-9474.
Yeah. Send us your Ma Johnson questions.
Know it all. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Christmas.
Let's talk about Christmas.
What are you going to tell me, Mike? I'm ready for you.
Well, first I thought that we would go into just like tell me about Christmas, Kyle.
Tell me about Christmas.
Is your family celebrates Christmas despite being non-religious, right?
Yes, yeah. Which I think actually this is a good representation of what I've said before. Is it's interesting because religion is the backbone of so much hatred towards gay people. Some people are surprised that I grew up non-religious, and also my parents had a hard time with me being gay. And what I mean by non-religious, both my parents were raised Christian, and I was not raised anything. I never went to church with my family. The only time I went to church was a few times with friends. Like my friends would bring me, probably try to save me. So yeah, not religious at all. I was raised nothing. Like we just religion wasn't a thing. But Christmas, we celebrated Christmas because Christmas is now not a Christian thing. It's just an everyone thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the most important holiday in my family. We've always, except for during the pandemic, we've always been together every Christmas. And my dad like says, you know, I don't really care that much about my birthday or Father's Day or whatever, but Christmas, like that's when I want you home. That's when I want our family to be together. So that will probably continue to be, you know, an important holiday for us to be together.
It's super interesting.
Why?
Because of the religious thing, exactly what you were saying, right? Like so many people, it's like Christmas is at the very least going to Christmas Eve Mass together.
That's when people,
right?
They go twice a year. Yeah, and that's where I, say so much of our society is influenced by Christianity in ways that you don't even think about. Yeah, we both beliefs, that my parents and I at one time had, and celebrating Christmas, for example, we still did or had in spite of having no religious upbringing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a weirdly good segue.
Oh, I am weirdly good.
Yeah, mom and I can talk about like Christmas and our family and families and all of that. But first, because this is such a good segue, the history of Christmas, except not really.
Okay.
The real title of this segment is Christmas Isn't Christian. Like, it's interesting that Christians, like, the summary here is that Christians stole other people's holiday and turned it into Christmas.
Yeah.
Take the Christ out of Christmas and leave it out, damn it.
Yeah.
I do remember being around a friend's family, and I wrote Xmas, and they informed me that writing X takes the Christ out of Christmas. Like, I was informed, like, basically they were like,
oh my God, Kyle.
What?
I have a whole segment on that. Do you want to do that one now?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. Xmas. I love this shit.
Okay.
I love it so much. Oh my God. Okay.
What?
Xmas in 1957.
Okay.
A guy named George Washington Robnett wrote in the News and Views publication published by the Church League of America that the use of the word Xmas is taking Christ out of Christmas. He said the article was titled, quote, X equals the unknown quantity.
I thought it was Christ. I thought it was very known in this case.
And so it was picked up later by a guy named Gerald L.K. Smith, and he in December of 1966 claimed that Xmas was a blasphemous omission of the name of Christ, that X is referred to as being symbolical of the unknown quantity. He further argued that Jews had introduced Santa Claus to suppress New Testament accounts of Jesus, and that the United Nations, at the behest of, quote, world Jewery, had outlawed the name of Christ, and that's why the X was being used. That has gotten root in huge swaths of American culture, that Xmas is bad.
I didn't realize there were anti-Semitic roots to this phrase or idea that it's taking the Christ out of Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. God. So Franklin Graham, who's a famous evangelist,
famous cracker
TV evangelist, said in an interview on CNN, quote, "For us as Christians, this is one of the most holy of the holidays, the birth of our Savior Jesus Christ. And for people to take Christ out of Christmas, they're happy to say Merry Xmas. Let's just take Jesus out. And really, I think a war against the name of Jesus Christ."
Which, well, especially given what I was describing, Christmas has literally nothing to do with Christ in my family. Christ has been removed from Christmas by society already. I didn't do that. Jewish people certainly didn't do that. It has happened in society. So it's weird that, yeah.
So Christmas has been abbreviated as Xmas since at least the 16th century.
Damn.
Because the X is the first initial of the name Christ in Greek. It is the letter Chi or Christos it looks just like our letter X in Greek, which a lot of the Bible is in fucking Greek.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know this. My name is Christel.
Oh, really? Because of the K?
Kai. You said it's
Kai. Yeah. Okay.
That's the thinker.
Let me think some more. Can I go back in time and think it's funny the first time through?
Yes, please. Don't worry, I'll edit you. So you said me. I just have lots of Mike's laughter saved elsewhere that I just plug in on a joke that didn't work.
Excellent. I love it. Don't
take the Christ out of excellent.
Well.
Sorry.
When does Gen Z get their turn?
Right. When is it Zemus?
Yeah. Damn it. Assholes.
The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle around 1100 wrote XXX-Ma, meaning Christmas, the Christmas holiday. All kinds of famous authors have written an Xmas back in the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. It's been around forever and is for sure none of those crazy things that people say. What I really wanted to talk about in this segment, though, is there are overlaps with what's happening in the LGBT sphere of Christians have zero incentive or desire or, I think, ability to investigate the things that they are being told in church. There's no historical grounding. There's no need to be factual or correct. Just that guy in that fancy ass robe said it on Sunday, so it must be true.
There's no let me question what I'm told and either validate or disprove for my own self.
And that entire religion is built on martyrdom, and they are looking for any fucking way to be discriminated against, persecuted, martyred. Like it is like they talk all the time about being Christ-like. Well, to be Christ-like is to be hung up on a cross, as the victim.
Yeah.
And it's super interesting to me that this idea that Xmas is blasphemous, is taking Christ out of Christmas when it literally stands for Christ.
Oh,
like it is. Yeah. They want so badly to believe that that's what's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
That they take it and run with it.
I think it's that same vein of when people are like, cis is a slur, and you're like, it is literally not. Yeah, they're just looking to be martyrs. They're looking to be persecuted so they can bitch about something. Yeah, it's weird, the desire. Do you really want to be persecuted so much that you will invent these things? Or do you think this is what persecution feels like? Because it's not. It's not someone saying a word to you.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot more going on. They just want to be, I don't know. They want some of the social benefits of the challenges that come along with being a minority without having to have the experience of it.
Yeah, I think there's also this like feeling that what we want to be is special, and they feel, but I want to be special.
Yes,
and like specialness is a zero-sum game that they're having some of their pie taken away or something.
That is such a great way. Yes, absolutely. Wait, I thought I was the special one.
Yeah, Karen, you are.
Yeah.
In your own way.
Yeah.
It's just. I was to back up a little bit, was very surprised, and should not have been, because anti-Semitism is such a problem that it's the Jews are the ones taking Christ out of Christmas is so predictable and sad and enraging and kind of funny.
Yeah,
because it's like not true.
Yeah,
It's really interesting. So, Mom,
I thought it was just a really good excuse to drink. Like extra-ness, like extra stuff.
Do you want me to do 2 in a row?
What?
Hot.
Great.
What?
Just an excuse to drink. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What?
Should we talk about? Have your Christmases included drinking? What are some of your? What does Christmas mean to you, Ma Johnson?
Oh, it means little angels fluttering with holly and little snowflakey breath.
Yeah, little drunk angels.
Yeah. No. Yes, for sure. Drinking
Is
for sure.
It's a big part of your family gatherings.
We don't even need a holiday, really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
The holiday can be it's Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's change your underwear bi-monthly Wednesday.
So some shit that I don't know about your childhood, Mom. Did y'all go to church? Was that part of Christmas for your nuclear family, Grandpa and Grandma, and your brother and sister?
No.
It
was. So my mother's birthday was Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So it was go to her mother's house,
mm-hmm.
to my grandma's house, and just hang out. And I don't know what the legal age it was. I think 12 to have a drink. And then there was the mysterious, my dad and probably an uncle or two or whatever. Oh, we have to go buy ice. So they'd leave. Well, they'd go do Santa at our house during that time. Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Grandma had the silver aluminum tree with the yellow flower lights with the spin wheel of color.
That's so 50s and 60s, right?
Oh my God, yeah. That's the one I remember anyway. So yeah, I mean, there were, and then earlier in the evening, we would have gone to my dad's mother's house and hung out with all of them, and eaten some good stuff. But later on that we didn't do that. I don't know why. If Grandma just wasn't up with, great grandma to you would have been not up for it or whatever. So what?
Put that down.
I can't. So, it's kind of a blur-ish. Yeah. And again, we were really poor. So if you got $1, you better just go, yeah. And it's got its head and arms, everything this year. Cool.
But so y'all didn't go to church for Christmas.
Nope.
You didn't go to church at all?
We went on Easter.
Oh,
because I got a new
Easter.
dress. So hello, there was no organized, thing of religion in our family, both sides, until much later. And then my grandma and my uncle, be my dad's oldest brother,
the Mormons,
became Mormons. Yeah.
Wow, converting
Yeah.
I hear from Mormonism, but not to Mormonism that often. Huh.
So, Mom, what I want to know is, so many people who have heard you be on the show and are interested in you, they just can't believe that a parent could be so chill and cool and hang out and support their gay son doing this wacky ass podcast, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that the fact that you come from an also non-religious family, unlike Kyle's situation, is why you're like this? Do you think if you were a church-going family, you would still be chill like this?
I think that's a really good question. I think that the influence or the lack of influence from that, was good. Not all of the people or all of the off lines of all the family were not religious, but I can certainly see that in the 50s and 60s, society's expectations and pressure, and you should, what you should do, what was right, it just wasn't an influence. It wasn't at all anywhere in either side until much later. But I think everybody just wanted family, just regardless. You just we all get together.
Yeah.
I
don't think being non-Christian makes you a better person, but I do think it gives you the opportunity to be a better person. Like my family chose, they kind of bought into some of the core beliefs that made it a struggle to be gay, but other people being non-Christian helped free them from some of the prejudices and shittiness. So
yeah.
And I think that people forever have wanted to belong. You want to belong to something. So if you are in a religion...
I'd like to be longer.
Well, I can't help you now. Too late. But I think that people sort of yearn to be part of this is what they do at that place on this day. This is how they, everybody's happy and this is what happens and it's a huge thing and, we're part of the community there and, So I don't think that, pulling all negativity from that, but I do totally get how being in the hard, fast rules are this, and this. And
I
you're
love
an
being
asshole
told
if
what
you
to
don't.
do.
Yeah, I know, right? Meow.
Hard and fast. That's his game.
Yeah, but yeah, you're fast. I didn't know that about you.
I don't know what to say back to that.
I told you I'd be the little spoon if you would be the big spoon. I don't. The lack of that influence or if it would have been in there, I don't know that would have made a difference. I think partly because our family of huge amount of members were musicians.
Yeah.
I just think that the show must go on. So whatever. But, being in a little town, maybe everybody talked that we didn't go to, but, didn't matter. We just kept on keeping on. But family, I think, is just the primary reason that people have traditions or have, like your family. It's a date on the calendar that the government says you can have these days off, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so the pressure maybe socially from where you're from, but you made it look like we're doing Jesus in here, but weren't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mike, you were saying other things before I took us on this journey down what our Christmas is like. What segment were you going to do?
Oh, yeah. I was going to do Christmas Isn't Christian.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, that's the punchline is right there in the title of the segment.
Oh, great. Okay. So I'm going to talk about
Christmas Isn't Christian. But the reason I said I was going to do it now is because you had said, Mom, you said it's just, I thought it was just an excuse to drink. And that's really interesting because Christmas isn't Christian. So first, I found on lifehopeandtruth.com, which is a religious site.
Yeah. Oh, I know. You didn't have to clarify.
About God, the Bible, life, and prophecy. My guess, though, is if I looked into this a little bit further, they would be Jehovah's Witnesses or Seventh-day Adventists because they famously don't celebrate secular holidays like Christmas, don't have birthdays, shit like that. But they actually wrote an entire article called 4 Reasons Christmas is Not a Christian Holiday.
Ooh.
And so number 1, Christmas is not Christian because it's
sorry. So this is coming from a religious website.
Yes.
Explaining that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's just good holiday fun.
Number 1, Christmas is not Christian because it is associated with many pagan birth myths. And December 25th was not the date of Christ's birth. This is actually not controversial. Jesus was not born on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We have many examples that tell us that he was probably born in the springtime. That's assuming that you believe in a historical Jesus, which not everybody does, but most scholars do.
Yeah.
He was born at a warmer time of year, but it was decided about 300 years after that he was born that December 25th was his birthday. And the answer to why is mostly just a recruitment. Like all of these non-Christians had all of these celebrations and traditions that were based on their history, and Christians basically came in and said, no, it's okay. You can keep doing this wacky ass shit. Just it's for Jesus now.
Yeah, this is like we offer dental. We've got 2 weeks of vacation time. Like you got to give people benefits to recruit them. That actually makes a lot of sense.
The Persian god Mithra was born December 25th. So when they're trying to convert Mithraic folks to Christianity, they're like, the biggest holiday of the year is our celebration of our God's birthday. Christians were like, oh, yeah, us too.
Yeah,
for sure.
We
absolutely do
Twins.
that. Keep going.
So,
just also celebrate Jesus.
Yeah.
So that 300-year-ish gap. So what about BC and AD then? So today's calendar based on the year of Christ, right? Or however they say it.
AD 300, give or take. It was the 4th century, give or take.
So I'm like 366 years old then.
Probably.
Nice. I don't do math.
I don't know how that math works.
You might be gay.
Yeah.
But then also, speaking of gay, make the Yuletide gay. Yeah. We still call Yule or Yuletide is deeply associated with Christmas. All of that's pagan. All of that comes from Scandinavian Norse gods and the traditions that come from that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Yule stuff.
Okay.
And they mean gay as in happy, not gay as in you and me. But also in December was the Roman festival of Saturnalia. And all of that was well before Jesus came along and kept going right on through Jesus' time. And more and more got morphed into the Christian tradition of Christmas. But of all of the ways that they celebrated Saturnalia, a lot of which sound pretty familiar, like giving gifts to each other. That was part of Saturnalia. Using fire to make lights to light up buildings and local gathering places. That's part of Saturnalia. But a really, really big one, getting wasted. Part of the point of Saturnalia was to just get fucking wasted. Like, it's just the most drunk bacchanalian, which is also a thing we have talked about before on the show, Bacchus, and that is super gay. But getting hammered and like drinking in the streets, just being fucking wasted is part of this tradition that Christians took over and turned into Christmas. So Christmas has been a drunk old time before Christmas was Christmas.
Yeah.
Some of the other things, though, that are super interesting, I think, that they did as part of Saturnalia was this whole thing about role reversal. So,
love some role play.
For instance, I okay, there's the whole thing that like you can't say hookers or prostitutes, you say sex workers,
right?
And I believe in that. I try to do that, but then like still fuck it up because I'm reading stuff. I know that the word slave, we should replace that with enslaved persons or so I apologize if I fuck this up. I'm going to try to fix it, but I might fuck it up. During Saturnalia, enslaved people were treated to a banquet by their owner/master.
Wow.
And
how generous.
Yeah. So it's really, but there's this whole, that's just one example of the ways that roles were reversed. So like women were allowed to party in public.
Jesus.
They a similar related reversal was at certain times not only acceptable but expected that men would wear women's clothes and women would wear men's clothes.
Shut the fuck up.
Part of the celebration of Saturnalia.
So when someone asks me why I'm wearing women's clothes, I can just be like, no, I'm celebrating literally like the roots of Christianity.
Yeah. Well, Christmas at the very least.
Yeah. Which now they think
Yeah. The toga was something that you wore during the day, and then you would wear colorful dinner clothes at night. During Saturnalia, you would do the opposite. So it would be like you would wear a tuxedo, you would go to work in your tuxedo, and then at night you go to the bar in your sweatpants, kind of a thing.
Yeah, night toga.
Yeah.
Love it.
Similarly, so gift giving I already mentioned was a big part of Saturnalia, and like you would give gifts to everybody. Gambling was usually frowned upon in Roman society and not cool and not a thing that you could do, but apparently during Saturnalia, fucking go for it. So there usually were like dice games primarily, or precursors to dominoes or knuckle bones, that kind of stuff was all part of the gambling culture there. Seneca, who was a philosopher, ancient Roman philosopher, said in a letter to a friend, quote, "It is now the month of December, when the greatest part of the city is in bustle. Loose reins are given to public dissipation. Everywhere you may hear the sounds of great preparations, as if there were some real difference between the days devoted to Saturn and those for transacting business. Were you here, I would willingly confer with you as to the plan of our conduct, whether we should eve in our usual way, or, to avoid singularity, both take a better supper and throw off the toga." They...
Woo.
Yeah, and then I'll end this little segment here by saying "Yo Saturnalia" was something that you would just like randomly yell on the street during Saturnalia, just because it was fun to yell.
Yo Salmonella.
Yo Saturnalia. Yo Salmonella. Yeah. And then the other thing is that there would be the Saturnalicus Saturnalicius Princeps, or the ruler of the Saturnalia, or king of Saturnalia, who would be, everybody would vote, and then he would become the leader of the local Saturnalia celebration. And there was this like culture of you just, whatever he said you had to do. So like some common things would be sing naked. You would have to just like strip on the sidewalk and sing, which like...
And your point is?
I want to bring that back. I want to bring that back to Capitol Hill, the gayborhood here.
Yeah.
Gayborhoods across the country declare one twink to be king, and everyone just has to do whatever that bitch says.
I was going to say, they hired the gay party planner to do this job. I would definitely vote on the homosexual to do this.
Yep. But the whole point was to create a chaotic and absurd world. And apparently the Emperor Nero, who fiddled while Rome burned, was a king of Saturnalia in his younger days. So that's Saturnalia. And then the other thing is Yule, like Yuletide, like nature stuff. It was a paganistic, primarily Scandinavian institution, but the whole thing of like burning the Yule log together. The tradition of Christmas ham is probably a Yule thing because they had what they called the Yule board.
Is that like a charcuterie board?
Or the Yule ham. It was just the way that they prepared this ham was a part of Yule celebrations. All of it was worshiping the god Odin and Mother's Night, which was a pagan celebration. And some other things that happen as a part of Yule was also drinking. So getting fucked up, going door to door and with a bowl of punch, and going door to door and handing punch out to people in exchange for small gifts is part of Yule celebrations, which is also still a part of Christmas carols.
Yeah, but they get me less drunk when they come to my door. Right? You know, like that's the downside is they stopped giving me booze and gave me I have to stand while watching you sing.
Yeah, well, the Andersons are here again with their watered down shit. I guess we'll sing anyway. Anyway, yeah, the punchline. The history
the punch.
The history of Christmas is just not Christian. Basically, Jesus needed a birthday, and we had a bunch of ready-made, already celebrated shit that we did all around the solstice.
Jesus Needs a Birthday is a great title for a podcast, a historical podcast where Jesus is looking for a new birthday. And he considers options. It's like, reality kind of.
The war on Christmas is won, and Jesus is birthdayless. So he comes back to Earth, wandering the planet, looking for a new birthday. and then ultimately settles for the 4th of July, and there's a war between him and the rest of America for whose birthday is it really.
Definitely 4th of July is his new birthday. Other notable figures in Christmas is Santa.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on Santa.
I remember that.
Okay.
Really?
Satan.
Uh-oh, did I already talk about this then?
I don't know. Are you going to talk about the Krampus? Go ahead.
I was going to tell you about whether telling your kids that Santa is real is good or bad.
Okay. So that was reason I didn't get through this whole article on this Bible site, this religious site. They said reason number 3, Christmas is not Christian because lying is not Christian. There is no Santa Claus. Parents shouldn't lie to their children.
Okay, well, let's start with, what do you think about the idea of, do you agree with this religious website? Ma Johnson, we'll start with you. What do you think about telling your kids that Santa's real?
Well, you can just play the game Easter Bunny, and then just like phase out of it. But it's kind of just like a fun. It's not. There's no harm intended. So if you don't, so you just kind of roll along with, because Auntie Gail's telling you shit. So like Mr. Rogers is gay.
Yeah.
And there is a Santa.
Mom's sister, my Aunt Gail, when I was like young, to get me to shut up, said Mr. Rogers is gay. Oh, because I had so many questions. Question. She thought that one would shock the questioning right out of me.
I think he's actually bi.
I think he's
probably
dead.
Well,
there's a documentary about him and his sweaters in the Smithsonian. So.
I thought you were saying sweaters are bi.
Only his sweaters. I don't think there's any harm in it. I don't think anybody has ill will for the children, like to traumatize them. Yeah. Although some of it is taken, But now we've got Snoop on the stoop, Elf on the shelf.
Oh my God, I love the memes.
Don't you?
I support Santa, if only because it made Elf on the Shelf happen. Not because I like that, but because I love the memes of like Marjorie Taylor Greene on a cake that's Count on a Bunt.
Yes.
Like I'm here for it.
Yes. So
yes, it's all justified because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't think that there's. I mean, it's just part of, like, whatever kind of game you want to play, but maybe it's never even brought up in some families. I don't know. In ours, it was just kind of a whatever thing. They believed or they didn't, and
I think what I like about this is asking the question of, is it harmful to kids? It challenges this. It is socially acceptable to tell your kids that Santa's real, to kind of fight and against all odds, to say that Santa's real. And that's normal in society. So to be like, is that bad? A lot of people, I think, would say a similar thing is like, but it's a good thing. There's no harm. That's not the intention. So I think it's a really interesting question that I've always wanted to know the answer to.
Yeah.
But there's a way to, we study things and measure things to know, but we don't know until we study it.
I think there's a 3 strikes and you're out rule. I think that like kids are okay with like their parents lying to them until the 3rd time they catch them. So like Santa's not real. Okay, that's 1, but you get at least 2 more. And then it's
Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy,
and then it's game over. Well, so then Easter Bunny for sure. But the one that I was thinking about was like, don't smoke pot; it'll make you do crack. And then first time I got high on weed, and I was like, I don't want to do it.
Man, I have a hankering for some crack. Man, those are 2 very different lies.
Well, yeah.
Because one informs your future belief about drug use and the impacts, and one is like, there's a jolly fat dude. I don't know.
Yeah. I generally think that kids are smart enough to survive that, and like Santa's clearly not a thing that your parents came up with, so there's like a forgivability built into it that like they're not. I don't know. Yeah. Mom, I love you and Ron, but I don't think you're smart enough to invent Santa.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, let's be a little mean this Christmas. So there unfortunately was not like one research study, like here's the impacts, here's right or wrong. So I'll just tell you some of the things I found when looking this up. In a 2018 BBC article, 4 out of 5 experts said you should not lie to your kids about Santa.
Oh.
There was a psychologist that said, quote, when a child asks the question as to whether Santa is real or not, they're already at a developmental stage to distinguish between reality and fictional characters.
Made you gay.
There is something to like, if you're old, this actually is in line with gay stuff. If you're old enough to ask the question, you're old enough to get age appropriate answer, which I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about like sex education or talking about gay shit. Is like, I'm not going to tell kids like, oh yeah, they definitely do anal. But like, if a kid asks a question about gay people, they're old enough to get whatever answer is appropriate to that person. Yeah. I don't know about Santa. That's a big comparison, but at least that's what this psychologist is saying.
Yeah. I mean, there's a higher level of bullshit if somebody looks you in the face and asks you a direct question. Is Santa real?
Yeah.
And like, then I think you have to tell the truth. That's different than like, oh, Santa this and Santa that and Santa's in the cartoons that you watch and on the decorations.
Or you do leave it up to your friends, just like sex education. Your friends will tell you.
Yeah, the neighbor will get drunk and tell you. Well, I think another thing is when someone, especially a child, asks you a direct question, you don't always have to be like, here is the definitive answer. That could be an opportunity to explore, like, what do you think about Santa? Do you like, what do you know? What do you like? You can explore that with them in a way that actually lets you hear more from them on their perspective.
See, I don't know, Timmy. It's Christmas and I'm drunk.
Is that from something? Oh, okay.
My mouth.
I never
to
know.
your ears.
I never know. Sometimes things between the two of you are references to obscure movies. And okay, so lying is learned. Researcher Robert Feldman, who is a psychology professor at the University of Massachusetts, has studied lying, and he said that first graders are really bad at it. Seventh graders are okay at it. College students are experts. So you definitely have to learn lying. And obviously your parents are big influencers in your learning. So
I think as presented, that sounds like bullshit.
Oh, okay. I don't know. This dude has done research. What have you done?
I have an opinion.
What?
You graduated college? Hello?
Why do you think that's bullshit?
Because there are lots of things that people are less good at when they are younger and get better at with age that have nothing to do with practice or exposure.
Like what?
Making jizz.
So you think lying naturally, like people naturally become better at lying through nothing but age?
I'm saying it's possible.
I mean,
I would need to understand more about like what's being measured and studied here. But on the surface, it looks like a correlation versus causation problem to me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Go ahead. Continue.
Maybe. Lying. Another study. It's called parenting by lying in childhood is associated with negative developmental outcomes in adulthood. So it's a 2020 study that said the results were that adults who remembered being exposed to their parents lying or higher levels of their parents lying showed higher levels of deception towards their parents. Your parents lie to you, you're going to lie to your parents.
Oh.
And showed
Is that why you do it?
Do I lie to my parents?
I don't know. Just by omission, mostly. You just like don't tell them anything.
Okay.
Except how your dad listens, which like is maybe now he knows more about you than any other time in your life.
I was going to point out that not saying words out loud is sometimes not lying by omission. Like that was going to be what I would say to you. Sometimes you just don't say stuff and it's not lying. You just don't have to say everything.
Yeah, all right.
That's a noodle on it. Just think it over. Yeah, just reflect. And people that these same adults who were exposed to higher levels of parental lying also had higher levels of psychosocial maladjustment.
That's a big word for fucked up.
It's interesting because none of these really. I am a lot of the things I read and discussion about this focused on parents lying to their kids, and I dislike that. I actually don't, in spite of those kinds of things that I've said, I'm not convinced by any of this. So I definitely have a bias. I disagree with that. Telling your kids about Santa is equivalent to these studies about lying to your kids.
Right.
That to me is a big difference. So I was trying to be fair and show that evidence against telling your kids about Santa. One article that I really liked is, it started with like lying is bad, blah, blah, blah. And then the other side of it, the counterpoint was like, this researcher said there is no evidence saying that telling your kids about Santa is wrong.
Yeah,
it was like, okay, we can generalize that lying is bad, but so the only study that gave us something tangible is a 1994 study called Encounter with Reality, Children's Reactions on Discovering the Santa Claus Myth. And they interviewed 52 children who no longer believed in Santa. Things that they found, the sample, then they gave both their parents and them questions, and the parents tended to highly encourage their children to believe. So it's a good group of kids to ask about. Children generally discovered the truth around age 7, and children reported predominantly positive reactions on learning the truth.
Oh.
However, parents reported negative reactions to the fact that their children learned the truth.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I could, I read individual accounts where someone's like, I was really hurt by when I learned that Santa wasn't real, or I don't know, maybe on an individual level. There's no study that I've seen that's broadly says it is bad. specifically Santa, not just lying, but specifically Santa, or is the negative feeling, if you're worried about telling your kids the truth, are you worried about your own feelings about your children growing up, or they're no longer, their
innocence,
your
own mortality?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. You're a parent. What do you think?
Well, I think, no. So qualifiers. You go along with this created character 2 times a year, Easter Bunny, whatever. That does not necessitate across the board lying to your kid.
Yeah.
Or is it just embellishment, or is it just, coloring it up, or is it, so all those qualifiers, but things that are part of your childhood that just are, that there's no, so the neighbor kid could take you snipe hunting, or the, you know. So I don't think it's all on the parents.
That's true. Yeah. Well, and even so many of these cases, I think, are like lying to your kids. It's not the same thing as lying to them regularly. Taking someone's is it Snape? Snipe hunting. Like that. The joke is on you.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Mike.
Snipes aren't real.
I have heard this. No one has actually done it to me, but it's like I don't know. It's one of those weird, like, wait, do unicorns really exist or not? It's like one of those weird, but
also not real.
Also not real.
How about Swamp Lady?
Swamp Lady?
Definitely real.
Maybe real.
But if the end punchline is, haha, you're a sucker for believing, Santa is not that. It's, wow, don't you love that you got to experience this joy and you got shit out of it?
I understand it's problematic to extrapolate my experience and say that it's everyone's experience, and I'm not trying to do that at all. And of all of the traumatic shit from childhood that I remember and think about or ruminate on, Santa does not make the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
My feelings about finding out that Santa wasn't real range from like neutral to non-existent, much less traumatic and horrible, and I hate my mom now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. So basically where I'm at is I'm really interested in this because it includes such interesting things like your relationship with your children, what age they deserve to know things, how I think a lot of these questions are in the gay world. Parents don't ask themselves, like, what is actually good for my child versus what do I just want to do because it's what I've always done or what society says. So I think it's an interesting question. What
I just said this. Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No.
Oh, so for every kid that I've seen or am familiar with learning that Santa isn't real and seeing their reactions that are mostly like tepid or neutral, I've seen kids freak the fuck out and lose their shit when put on a Santa's lap.
Oh, like, God, yeah.
That shit's fucking traumatic. Like,
that is.
That'll fuck a kid up.
Yeah.
Like, not the... Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Or like Easter Bunny reactions. Holy shit, that fucker's terrified. Like big ass Easter bunnies that roll through parks. Like I don't know. Maybe it probably turns some people into furries, but like to me, I was just terrified.
Oh, Easter Bunny was our first furry.
Yeah, and Santa's like
our first daddy
bear.
Or their ears stay hard and erect all the time.
High expectations for. No, I have not seen evidence that tells me a lot of the evidence people have tried to provide to say it's bad have been, I think, not specifically they've been related to lying, not this specific case. So I've not been convinced that it's wrong.
Yeah. I'm with you. I agree.
The end.
What else do you want to talk about for Christmas, Mike?
I don't know. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one more, but I don't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Fine.
Or we could do it quickly. I started thinking, because of this episode coming up, I started thinking about the lyrics to the 12 Days of Christmas. It's fucked up and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because,
you can't like give Lords a Leaping. They would be so hard to contain.
Right. Is that indentured servitude? Like, who are you that you own lords that are leaping?
I mean, you must be a king. Who's above a lord?
Yeah, exactly. And that's your true love? Your true love is the king? Like... How does that work?
Well, they left out nouns, 5 golden nipple rings.
I do think that the 12 days of gayish Christmas, the 12 gayishes of Christmas, would be fun. We could do that sometime.
Yeah. Okay.
On the first day of Christmas, my doctor gave to me a catheter so I could go pee.
Yep. just the song is fucked up and I don't understand it. And it turns out that it's probably because it is French. Like,
oh, it's your fault.
So many of the lyrics are just like misheard. You know that game Telephone that you played with a kid, of you go down the line and then you see like what it turned into at the end. Like there's a lot of the lyrics to 12 Days of Christmas that just are French that got mangled. 3 French hens, apparently in
hookers.
They're called sex
Chicks.
Workers now, Mom.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, little hens.
Where did this go? Hold on. I just lost my shit. So like the partridge in a pear tree is just a mishearing of never
Wine
mind.
in a carafe.
I just don't want to do this anymore.
Okay, then don't.
You won't even say what the real thing was for partridge in a pear tree?
So it's perdrix, which is a partridge, and so it's a partridge in a partridge, a partridge in a pear.
Perdrix was got it. Interesting.
That it all got like mixed up.
Yeah.
And there's like the French hens. The word French meant foreign. And sometimes it's messed up. Like we sing golden rings in the United States mostly, although it's gold like everywhere else that sings it. And it turns out that all of that is probably not actually about rings, but about a different kind of bird that had like a golden thing. It's just all real dumb, and I don't want to talk about it.
Maids and milking was really just breastfeeding at the nursery, and
Exactly.
Okay.
I did read a absolute horse shit like Christian understanding of the 12 Days of Christmas in attempts to like make it about Jesus, and how like the 11 pipers piping is actually about the 12 apostles, but one of them doesn't count because it's Judas and he killed Jesus, and that's why there's only 11, and like none of it
Wow.
even a little bit of a background in like reality whatsoever. Like, I loved reading all of this Christian like just self-deceptive bullshit.
God, I avoid that stuff. I'm impressed that you can read through that, or
It just makes me so happy. Anyway, 12 Days of Christmas is a fucked up song, and I don't like it.
And that's that.
And
that's the way Mike sees it. Well,
did we do it?
We did something.
We talked about Christmas.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Mom, are you okay?
Do you need something?
My hello. Oh. My ear doodads are fuckered up. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Thanks,
you fixed
Kyle.
them. You did it.
I'm not naked anymore. It was fun and interesting.
Oh, good.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Real-time feedback.
That's right. Well, I'm going to send some shit in.
Oh, check your mail. Well, whatever you're celebrating, however you're celebrating, Merry
Include
Christmas.
booze. Yeah.
Happy holidays. Merry Kwanzaa.
Eat a lot. Drink a lot, even more.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Lie to your kids.
Definitely lie to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make them little psychopaths.
Yeah, because they already are. All kids are
already
psychopaths.
assholes.
Should we take a break?
Yeah.
Exchange gifts?
Oh.
I don't have gifts.
I got
Great.
you the gift of
friendship.
Great.
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right, let's take a break. Oh, wait. While we're on break, we're going to do, instead of a Patreon segment this week, we're going to, Mom's going to make the cheesy bread. And we're going to have a video of how that process works. So.
Yeah. People that have listened to Momsplaining know that there's a cheesy bread recipe that some have done for themselves. And everyone can go to patreon.com. There'll be a video there that you can watch for everyone of every level. Merry Christmas. Everyone gets a video of that.
Yep. Do it.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Great. So are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, hey,
All
I want for Christmas
Yes,
is my 2 front teeth.
Bucky.
But since I already have those, please rate, review, subscribe, and recommend. Do one of the 4 R's for us this holiday season. Consider this like the PBS pledge drive or the NPR pledge drive. You just have to listen to this.
Yeah, except less annoying.
And do it once, and then but it actually helps. It actually helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And recent ratings also plays a factor. So thank you for anyone who has rated in the past. Also, that means we just need other people. We've gotten the people that are like, sure, I'll do it. Now we need the people that are like, eh.
Yeah, if you're on the fence, I'm going to push you off of it.
Into the snow.
Into the snow.
Into the snow.
Okay. Wait, let's do a local gay bar review real fast. Just to get that going. I'm going to talk to you about Junction, which is a gay bar in Vancouver, British Columbia.
What is your function?
I was up there for work, and the function was I went with Hot Sheldon and another coworker, and we had post-work cocktails, and it was lovely.
Oh.
There's a large outdoor seating area that looks like it's probably super badass in the summertime. The bartender was super nice. He knew Hot Sheldon, so we got to talk a little bit about he's also a local drag queen, so we got to chat about drag and what's going on there.
And because you're saying it it's someone we should know, Hot Sheldon is
the receptionist at work at the.
Someone you work with?
Someone I work with.
Okay, that's not uncomfortable.
Yeah. I already told him that I call him that on the show, and he's fine with it.
Okay.
He said, thank you for the compliment.
Okay.
Sure. We did seat at a weird tiny table, and which was confusing to me. But I'll give it 3.5 dildos.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bigger tables, folks.
Yeah. Less outdoor seating, more indoor seating, because I'm an inside kid.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Also, we were there at a weird time. I don't know that I could totally correctly evaluate it because at 6 p.m. gay bars are significantly less gay.
Yeah. Well, and gays don't go out that early.
Speaking about going out early, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
You can find all of the ways to contact us at gayishpodcast.com/contact, but our biggest communities are on Discord, Facebook, groups, or Spaces.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, especially if they are questions for Momsplaining. Yeah. It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. And we're recording in advance because Kyle is going to go home for Christmas. Yeah. So if you sent us something for Christmas, we're not going to get it for a while, but we will get to it. We promise.
And if you want to get us something for Christmas, rewind about 30 seconds because we already told you.
Yeah.
Gayest and Straightest?
Gayest and Straightest. All right. I'm happy to go first. The straightest thing about me this week, I've decided, is having Fireball on hand so we could have Christmas juice.
Yep. That is something I always feel like you will have.
Am I out of Fireball now? I might have an emergency
alert
Fireball supply somewhere.
COVID, man.
Well, I'll find out. And then the gayest thing about me this week, I think. Okay, so Mom gave me this set of pajamas, and she has a matching set of pajamas. But I had the thought, I think wearing matching jammies with your mom isn't not gay.
I agree. This is Mommy's little boy.
Yeah. How about you, Kyle?
My straightest is I was cooking these hot, they were kind of spicy hot sausages, and I had beer from when I hosted D&D.
Who are you?
So I was like, this is something people do, and cooked the sausages in beer.
Yeah. And what'd you think?
It had no impact on the taste that I could discern, so I don't know. I'll keep going with food-related. Gayest is the low-calorie ice cream that I get for myself.
Ooh, low-cal.
Low-cal, yeah. Calorie conscious is gay.
Indeed.
What about you, Ma Johnson?
Let me see. My straightest is having fireball shots with my homies.
Great. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The gayest is I made a little Christmas tree out of the bottles. Oh my God.
A Christmas tree out of empty bottles of liquor does feel very gay for some reason.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas. Merry XXX-Ma.
Yeah.
To all of us.
Thanks for being here, Mom.
Of course. Yeah. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you also to our super gap bridgers, Christopher M., John Crowley, Stephen Porcio, Social, Harry Shaw, Josh Copeland, Jonathan Montanus, Forrest Snail, Patrick Martin, James Barrow, Steve Douglas, Explosive Lasagna, Just Jamie, Kevin Henderson, Thomas B. Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Cacciatorians, and Jerome York.
That is it. Merry Christmas, you bitches.
Yeah.
This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
I'm Ma Johnson.
Woo. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be Ma.
Ma.
Be Yule.
Oh, yeah.